Alright, rear door panels of the Caprice. Let's start off from the last video. What we have left to do on this one is add the little crown part, add a Landau foam, then of course cover it. And I added a design. This is what we'll end up with before we cover it. Chose to go with all orange and a little bit of green top stitching thread. Since that was going to be kind of plain, I went ahead and added the raised design at the top of the door panel. Of course, I'll continue this onto the front door panel. I was going to put a Chevy bow tie on all four door panels. I want to debate what I'm going to do on the front one now that I've added the line. Either add one at the beginning of the line, or let the line fade off into little marks like that. But we'll see. I'm going to focus on these two right now. I may go back to the other one and show you what needs to be done to get the other one to this point. These things originally have little teeth where the holes are punched through. I add my spray adhesive glue, not spray adhesive, my Weldwood contact adhesive. That's the glue. Backwards. Anyways, I was fooling my camera trying to make sure that was in the shot. That's what I use for gluing just about everything I do. So I spray that through an air compressor and paint gun at about 60 to 75 pounds of pressure. And I'll spray both sides. I'll spray a little line here, top of the door panel, and on the back of this metal piece. And then we're going to go find a good concrete edge. I don't want to use this table because it's a little bouncy. It needs to be real solid. I'm going to hammer this down into the panel. There's holes here. There's holes in the metal panel, so we can line up and make sure we're straight. So that's the next step. I sprayed a heavy coat of glue across the back of here and the front of the panel. Now, if you don't have a spray gun, and on this part of it you could use a brush, but then when it comes to gluing the foam and the covering, you're going to need a spray gun anyways. The next step, I'll add this on here. Just take a regular hammer, hammer it into place. Once you get it started on the front, you're going to want to flip the panel over and find that nice flat concrete surface to keep this end straight, and hammer the panel on from the back. So you're going to be actually hammering back here. I'm not going to be able to show that. I'll show it after it's hammered on. Alright, get that attached. Simply laid it on a good concrete surface, line the holes up, give it a real good hammering all the way across until you see the boards come up even inside of each hole, and it'll feel pretty level across there as long as you did it on a nice flat concrete surface. So now next step will be add the foam. And the foam we're using is sandable, so if any of this shows a little light lumps through it, we can sand that down even over the clips, any spots, anything I didn't go far enough with smoothing out on Bondo fiberglass. So if we were painting these panels instead, we'd have a lot more work to do right here to get it perfectly smooth for a coat of paint. Luckily we have 1/8 inch foam and then material, so it'll look real nice and smooth. Okay, now I've lightly sanded the back of the foam with 220 sandpaper. You could use up to about 600. You want to do it gently or you'll tear the foam. It'll tear easy. And then I sprayed the contact adhesive, the glue, on both surfaces, letting it dry a little bit. Close, almost cut too small. This foam we can cut and piece together, and then sand the seam. Of course, we won't be able to do that with our material, so it'll have to be sewn to fit. Spray this corner a little extra too. I'll get my stuff ready. I'm gonna spray a little more glue under here. I didn't get enough on my foam. And let it dry for a second, then I'll come back and show you how to trim this and finish it up and then sand it smooth. Some more glue sprayed under there. I'm going to bring it around this way. Actually, let's do this. Right there. Right down. Do this without getting in the way of the camera. Now we can see the edge through here. Oops. I'm going to trim just a little further over, barely cutting through. If anything, we want extra sticking out here because we can sand that down smooth. Same thing over here. Go about an 1/8 inch past what you'd think. Just barely past it. Sometimes, depending on the angle, you can cut these just right and just sit the seams right together. It almost needs no sanding. I'm going to force this one together, then sand it even. We're going to go over the rest of the panel too with some sandpaper. Get any lumps out of it. See some across where we had the hammer. Get that nice and even. I guess while I still have it on, let me show you how to sand this best way I've found. Usually go one direction, never letting the edge of your sandpaper catch it. Because it will rip it quite easy. So you don't want that to happen. And I get a nice curve, stay in the middle of your sandpaper. Try to curve it up 4 ways if possible, lightly. And just watch your edges. Right here it's kind of easy. We can just go one direction, lightly sanding it away. I'm going to trim the edge here before I really sand it. When I trim the edge, I'm going to go about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch past the edge with the foam. That way when the material goes around, we can pull it tight and it'll give it a nice round edge. So do not cut it right against the cardboard. You can, if you do, use a nice brand new X-Acto blade and go very cleanly across the edge. And maybe even take the sandpaper and sand the edge nice and smooth. Keep going over that edge lightly. I'm going to have to go this direction because it's overlapping that way. Down here later, but you see the top there, it's already perfectly smooth. You'll never know there was a seam there. How good that shows up. So you can see the other one poking out here. It's nice and smooth. So anyways, I'll get this all mocked up, trimmed, and come back with the design for the top. Go ahead and get both of these mocked up the exact same. Just like this one. And then we'll cover them at the same time. I've already got the patterns cut out for them. It's just solid orange. I have a stitching that goes around the base of that. And probably around the armrest. Green thread as top stitching. So it won't be much green at all in the door panels. Alright, last step on this one. I've lined the door panels up and got my marks. I've marked this with a pencil. And I've cut out the template. Added that one whole piece. And we'll trim out the little notches after we've glued this in place. Be a lot easier than trying to glue each little piece just right. You probably can't see my mark on the board, but it's there. It's for me, so I line it up. Let that dry for a minute. I can still see my pencil mark. Let's see if you can see it. Yeah. So I'll let that dry, then come with this piece. Just hover right above it. line it up and drop it down. And come back and trim this. There's different levels of letting this glue dry. You just have to kind of learn by experience with different materials. You're going foam to foam, headliner material to a board, just vinyl to a board. Some things you can let just dry for a second, like for instance headliner material with a foam backing. It seems to take a good bond. You could stick it quicker than we've let this dry. Just go right for it and it would be just fine. This foam to foam is kind of in the middle. I let it dry just a little bit longer where it's dry to the look. And if we were to touch it, it wouldn't be wet and cold feeling. We don't really want to go touching it. Touch it down here where we last sprayed it. So it's dry to the touch, but it'll still take. Now if we let it go even further, if I keep babbling here I may, if it let it get super dry where it doesn't even hardly want to contact, of course you can spray it real lightly again, or you can get out a heat gun, heat both sides up, it'll reactivate it and then put it together. I'd like to kick you out of the way and put this down. Give it a good firm rub so it makes a good contact. I'm not going to rub it so much here yet. And I want to hurry up and trim those. The longer it dries, the more it's going to stick. Oh, that razor sucks. Oh my god. Some new razors. Trying just to cut through the top layer, so I don't want to remove the ones that don't need to be removed. Every other space. There's one reason I have nails. You could use a little flat head if you don't have any nails. Kind of roll that out of the way. If you got a mess in there, you can take the sandpaper through there lightly. If anything, you don't want to dig down too far. So just try to get the top layer off. I won't make you watch all that. Both panels foamed up, ready for covering. I already had those patterns cut before I foamed the panels. This piece is going to have a seam coming off the edge underneath the door panel. So you won't see it. But you will see this seam. So once we sew this seam on, I'm going to do what's called a top stitch. Fold the edge over and do a decorative stitch on top of it, about a 1/4 inch wide from the seam. It'll be in green thread, I've mentioned a few times. I'll get that done next, come back with one of these glued, and may show you the steps for gluing the other one, if I can get the camera in, not be in my way, and get it glued right. Thanks for watching so far. This one finished. It's very orange. Get some more of this kind of stitching on the armrest, probably around the base of it too. Get that in there. Still got to put my trim weather strip in here. Window fill sweeper. Got all my clips in. I didn't go over it, but after I put my clips in before covering this, I sanded the tops down. They had a little bulge from the head of the clip. I made sure all that was nice and even and smooth. I'll get one more clip of this installed on the vehicle. I don't know if I'm going to add this clip on the first video or this will be the second video. It might be the end of it. I think I've said that quite a few times. I just spent about 3 hours detailing and cleaning this interior. Got one door panel on. Set the armrest to go. Looks pretty good in there, even though there's no green. Get this side locked. Goes with it. Got the exact same orange. Of course, it's a little newer than the rest. It all cleaned up pretty good. I had to go back to the first clip in the first video, see how dirty it was. I like cleaning all the door jambs up. It makes the work look better when you open the door. Still need some seat belts and recover these pieces. Probably talk them into doing that. See, seat belts, those, and there was something else he needed. I still got to clean the top of the dash. I'm gonna get him some buttons. He's missing a couple on the back. I'll try to sneak those in for him. And I'll wash up the outside when I get done with the whole car. I'll come back to the video when I start doing the armrest for the rear. We'll go ahead and finish up the other door panel for the rear tonight and do the armrest tomorrow. So I'll add those on this video and see where we go from there. Front door panels. Got passenger side half wrapped. Get the crown attached and all the door clips in it. Reflector. Later in the video I'll show you what I'm going to do here. Finish the top half. Let me show you how to start from this point. Add the foam and the cover. Pretty much same method as the back door panels. Well, got the majority of it glued on the face. Now I'm going to go around the edges, spray some more glue. Trimmed it to where I've got enough to fold everywhere I need it. I have a few joints to sand over. So I'll take care of all that. Come back with the finished foam and show you how I cover it. Alright, I'm going to finish this one today. Put some door lock cylinders in it first before I finish the front door panels. There's the front door panels. Sorry I didn't show y'all how I wrapped those. I got very busy and I had to knock some stuff out. I didn't have time to put the camera behind me and hold me up. But I'll show some of that stuff in the future. Anybody wanted to see it? That's my next one. Another Impala. Full interior. This one I just finished. I did the seat bottoms, full carpet. Needs a back still. Oh, this thing was dirty. Like they did construction out of it. I should have took a video before. A lot of cleaning. I think I want to do the backs next. I was supposed to do this one. I didn't have enough material. But all his seats look like that. I think he might want to come back and do almost all of them. At least the backs of the front seats and these two maybe. Pretty rough too. That one's real rough. It's leather. Leather gets like that within 3 to 6 years, depending on how much you're in and out and how much you clean it. This is vinyl. This is Nuance. That's my favorite vinyl. Mentioned that on a few videos. It'll last longer. It doesn't breathe as good as leather, so it'll get warmer. Make your back sweat if you got a whole vinyl seat. You don't have no AC. Alright, let me unlock this green one and I'll show you a clip. The back door panels and then get those on there. I could have finished this up days ago, but I didn't want to put the door panels on and he don't have the right keys for his locks. Watch this. I've spent a lot of energy watching over this car. Like checking, make sure no one broke into the trunk right here by the road and shit. Yeah. So it's wore me out. And look how it's been this whole time. Somebody could have just walked up to it. I'm fixing to fix that. Oh, some of those. Bad. I think I already got a clip of these. There they are again, if not. Rough suit. Be back after I switch that out. Hopefully you can still get them same model speakers. You're going to have to get all new ones to match. If he even cares. Yeah. There's a lot of work for some door panels. Still gotta wash it, clean his dish. That'll be all done. Yeah, I cleaned it up and washed it. Cleaned up pretty good. Yeah, excuse me.